Campers!
Hey campers, welcome back to Camp Insomnia.
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh, spooky. I am your head camp counselor, Zachary.
And this is your other head camp counselor that got lost in the woods and forgotten about, but now I'm back. It's your camp counselor, Jacob!
Hey. We are a paranormal and true crime podcast. And for you newbies, Jacob has been lost in the national parks for a very long time. So how was your time in the parks?
I learned a lot of things. The government is a definite lie. There's so many new things that we don't even know about, and trolls are real. So,
wow. I expected the national parks are terrifying, as we all know. But glad to have you back out of the forest.
I'm so excited to be back.
Yeah, and to all of our listeners that have been getting used to Devin, Devin is not here today, of course, and she is going through some mental stuff, and mental health always comes first in everybody's lives, and that's a tip that everybody can take back from camp, is that mental health is very important. And she's doing good, but she's doing really, really good. You'll hear in the next episode. But for this episode, we have our special guest.
Yeah.
My brother from
boy.
the same mother.
Oh, yeah.
So any news, Jake? Any updates you want to give the campers? Besides coming out of the forest.
Oh, well. Take care of your body. Treat yourself first, and always be a bad bitch. Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good. I gotta say, that's some pretty good advice. Always be a bad.
Always
bitch.
be a bad bitch. You always come first. Never come second.
Some news in my life. I have worked a lot of overtime this week. I am so glad it's the weekend. My paycheck's gonna be really nice though, and I am really tired. Yeah. Oh, and I just bought tequila.
Oh, what kind of tequila?
I bought a bottle of Patron.
Oh, Patron.
Patron.
Dang,
Silver.
Campers. He's bougie.
Getting bougie. I got
Bougie.
that real adult life money. Not no Olive Garden tips.
When are you going to buy me a steak? Boo-boo, what the hell?
Well, you come visit.
It's expensive, man.
Yeah. But just know, if you come visit, I can get you that Wagyu. I can get you that truffle.
Okay.
Anyways, so today, campers, I have a really exciting story for everybody. I was gonna save this to read it with Devin, but I'm like, no, this is a big deal. Like, Jake came out of the forest, so I'm gonna read the story that is really creepy.
I'm excited.
Yeah. As you should be excited. So without further ado, campers, let's gather around the campfire.
Pick up your feet, roast those weenies, and burn those marshmallows, because we're about to tune in to the prime time special of whatever the story is.
So, campers. So today, campers, I gather you around the campfire this evening to talk about the mysterious case of the Watcher.
Ooh.
Yes, and after this story, you might not be very excited to purchase your very first home, especially a first home that was previously lived in. So you might be having second thoughts after this story on moving into a new place.
Ooh, okay. The Watcher.
All right. Yeah, the Watcher. Alrighty, campers. So let's crack into this case. So, Jacob and campers, we start off in the town of Westfield, New Jersey. New Jersey. I both did this shit at the same time.
Hell yeah.
So, it is a very beautiful town and many wealthy neighborhoods and beautiful older homes. Fun fact, Westfield is about 45 minutes away from New York and is ranked as the 99th richest city in America.
Oh, shit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a pretty big deal. And so, in this beautiful town, a very nice home was put up for sale at 657 Boulevard. It had 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, and over 3,900 square feet, and was built in 1905. Some may say this house was a very grand estate, and it was then later purchased by a family of 5.
Okay, sounds like us.
Cool. Yeah. yeah. I don't know if our house is like grand or anything, but yeah. But purchasing this home was quite a feat. Many locals bid on this home, like thousands of dollars a bid, like $350,000 to put like on a bid towards this house.
God.
Because that's how bad they wanted it, due to the fact that this home was like super desirable. It was on like a tree-lined street, lush greenery, a beautiful estate. It was like a very, very wanted piece of property.
Okay.
Some may say that like if like you made it in that town if you lived on Boulevard. If you lived on that street, like you fucking made it.
Oh, so it's basically like the Beverly Hills of New Jersey.
Yeah, basically, or like Bel Air in California.
Right.
So like, that's why people they wanted this home, and luckily, this family of 5 was able to snag it. Right?
She's like, yeah, I just bet an extra $100. I won the bet.
You know what? And that happens. Gosh. So this purchase would be a huge accomplishment for both Derek Brodus and Maria Brodus, which is his wife. Oh God, I hit the mic.
Oh jeez.
Sorry.
Ow,
I'm so sorry.
You hit me.
With the home costing just over $1.3 million.
Oh God.
Yeah, which some of you seem like, damn, these white people got some money.
Can they donate to the camp, please?
Right? Can you donate to camp? To my, it's called the Camp Student Loans Sally Mae Fund that you can donate to. Anyways, so Derek, the husband, he was a very hard worker, and he moved his way up the ladder in his insurance job, and he later became the senior vice president. So that's how he was able to get like this grand home, because his salary was able to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, so he worked hard for it.
Yeah,
so it was like a huge accomplishment. So Maria, his wife, loved the home, not only because it was a beautiful home, but also because it was just a few blocks away from her childhood home. So it already kind of felt like home because it was in the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. They were able to purchase this like house that everybody wanted, and it's beautiful, and it's in the same neighborhood, and it was just a really big deal. So on June 2014, as the husband/father, Derek Brodus, had just finished adding a new coat to his recently purchased home, just 3 days earlier with his wife Maria, they went to go check the mail.
Ooh,
all right.
Okay.
Among the miscellaneous items of like junk mail, like bills, newspapers, coupons, a card-shaped envelope was inside.
Ooh.
The envelope was addressed to the new owner in thick, scratchy writing. When Derek opened the envelope and opened the card, a message was typed inside. And here's the message.
Destroy the
Dearest.
Corrupt them all.
Oh my God. Okay.
Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out.
Okay. Neighborhood Watch is taking their job way too serious.
Literally, right?
Oh
Literally,
my
right?
God.
So Derek and Maria were like shocked, as of course.
Yeah.
But there was no return address on this letter and no way of knowing who could have written this. As jarring as this was, they simply like shrugged it off and returned back to doing renovations on the home, and making it like warm and cozy for their new family. Derek and Maria even said like they picked this house out of many due to the fact that it had a really grand fireplace, and the kids helped pick out the house too because the fireplace was big enough for Santa to come down.
Oh.
So that's like, it was cute. So back to the letter, they just simply like just shrugged it off. They thought maybe it was like the neighborhood kids like playing a prank on the new neighbors, or maybe it was a Karen, you know, just being a Karen. So they just kind of like whatever about it, right? They have bigger priorities, such as making their home a home. So Derek and Maria's, JK, I jumped way ahead.
Whoa.
So the family began to settle into their new home. Derek and Maria went to the surrounding homes. They started introducing themselves to the new neighbors. Meanwhile, the 3 children, who at the time were 5, 8, and 10, were making friends with the neighborhood children, right? Just becoming acquainted with the people you're going to be living with or next to you. So with the creepy letter at the back of the family's mind, they weren't thinking about it. Just as they weren't thinking about it, guess what happened?
It happened again.
It happened again. Another letter arrived. But this time, Derek was home alone at the time, 10 p.m. to be exact. His wife and kids were at their old home in Westfield, and this was the letter that he had got in the mailbox that night.
Man, these rich white people, man, they get all the action. You know?
Oh, God. It always happens to the poor rich white people. So here's what the letter says.
I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with Boulevard?
Boulevard.
The New Jersey accent.
Okay, back into creepiness. Creepy.
I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. Bad move. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. You have children. I've seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I have counted. Are there more on the way? Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family? Or was it greed to bring me your children? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me.
Ooh, it's Santa.
What? It was the fireplace. But what would you do? Okay, if you were the dad, right?
Right.
And like, what would you do reading that? That first portion?
Immediately from the first letter, I'd go to the freaking police. Okay, I don't care these kids out here playing pranks.
Yeah.
I don't take any chances.
Yeah, again, rich white people. Yeah, I mean, like, but in this situation, say you did ignore the first one, and now you're reading the second part. What would you do?
How
would you be feeling?
I would be scared, confused and angry, and then, eventually go to the police and then contact my family and then try to relocate where I'm at. Like, I wouldn't be staying in that house.
Literally. And the part that freaks me out is, do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested?
Sounds like a vampire.
I mean, but it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I requested. I didn't.
I am requesting.
When did you? When the hell did you request young blood, my children? Jesus. So, anyways, the letter continues. This is how it continues.
I asked the woods to bring me young blood, and it looks like they listened. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am in one. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I am in one. Look out any of the many windows in 657 Boulevard at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Let the party begin. Signed, The Watcher.
Ooh, what the hell? Ooh.
That gives me fucking chills.
Oh, God, no. No, we need to sell this house and give it to the other person. People that
literally, the people that sold it back to us. Yeah, but that's wild because he's right. Like, he could be anybody walking by on the street, driving by. He could be a neighbor. Like, you don't know. And that's just, reading that, I'd be like, what the fuck? So Derek frantically goes around the entire home, inside and out, locking all the windows, doors, turning off all the lights, shutting blinds, so that whoever, right, this watcher is, couldn't see him inside his home.
Right.
For all he knows, the watcher could be watching right now.
Okay.
Because he just got this letter.
Right.
So Derek calls the police, thank God.
Yeah.
And the police aren't much help, besides asking if he or his wife have had any enemies, and to move all the construction equipment and tools away from the windows and doors, just in case like the watcher guy might like use them to get in, like throw them through a window or use like a wrench to like open up a lock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Derek, then after going to the police, locking everything up, doing what they were told to do, Derek then bolts back to his old home to where his family is residing. Derek and Maria instantly emailed John and Andrea Woods, the couple who sold them the 657 Boulevard home, to ask if they had any idea who this watcher might be or why he or she had written, right? Because they're like, okay, he mentioned your name.
Yep.
in this letter. What didn't you tell us before selling this motherfucking home? Because I want to know what's going on. So, the watcher had also written, I asked the Woods to bring me young blood, and it looks like they listened. Remember, he put that in there. So it just makes sense. So the next morning, Andrea Woods replies back to the email, because this was late at night when they sent this. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, saying, this is what she had said, saying that a few days before her and her husband moved out of the home, they too received a letter from the watcher.
Ooh, what the hell?
She said the note too had been odd and how this person had been watching over their house for quite some time. But the family had been living in the house for 23 years, and this was the first creepy letter they had ever gotten. Yeah. So then they asked, like, okay, well, where's that letter? Like, oh, well, my husband threw it out. We didn't give it much thought. It was like right before we were going to move out and give you guys the home.
Yeah.
And it was like the first creepy letter in 23 years. I'm like, okay, whatever. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that day, the Woodses went with Maria to the police station again, where Detective Leonard Lugo told her not to tell anybody about the letters, including her neighbors, who she's like never met yet, because they're all now suspects, right?
Yeah.
Just don't tell anybody. Keep this to yourself on the DL, because now we have to investigate your neighbors.
It's so hard to do though if you like have a psychopath everywhere. You know?
Always watching. Yeah, you don't know. That's the thing. Like,
ugh.
you don't know.
How do you
So
like
they
keep
have
to yourself? It's scary.
Exactly. It's terrifying.
God.
Ugh. So the family was on high alert for the coming weeks. Derek was so concerned about leaving his family for a work trip, he canceled it so that they wouldn't be alone. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to leave my family alone with, oh, I want your young blood family.
Evil Santa. Maybe it's Krampus.
Maybe.
Could be.
Plot twist.
Ayo.
Santa. Ayo. So he didn't go on his work trip and canceled it. Maria wouldn't let her children out of her sight, not even in the front yard or even in the backyard where they were playing alone. Like, if they got too close to the edge of the property, she was like, Jacob, get your fucking ass back inside.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
I don't go outside.
Which, I mean, I would be on high alert too, because he said that he was going to try to learn their names so that he could entice them to him, which is just like, ugh. And if it's a neighbor that the family has met, that kid's going to be like, oh, that's one of our neighbors. Let me just go walk over to him.
Yeah.
Because I know that person. Little do they know it's probably the watcher. You know what I mean? It's just so psychologically like mind fucking. So by this time, no letters have been sent.
Weird.
It's been like weeks, right? So, but recently, suddenly, one of their contractors for the home put up like a really heavy metal sign in the family's front yard, you know, like for construction, like, oh, like, hey, I worked on this house. But that night, it was ripped out of the ground.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was gone. Poof. Another time, Maria was stopping by the house to look at paint samples for their new home. And she checked the mail.
Of course.
Because as she's making sure there's no mail in there, because, we rerouted their mailing address. It had been weeks, if not almost a month, and no letter from this person called the Watcher had been received. Suddenly, in the pile of mail was an envelope with the thick black scratched lettering on the front reading the new owner.
Oh, God.
Which I can only imagine her fucking stomach just swallowed itself whole. So Maria smartly calls the police to tell them there's another letter that had arrived.
God.
Smart.
Yeah.
She didn't open it until they had gotten there, and this is what the letter read.
Mr. and Mrs. Braddis, welcome again to your new home at 657 Boulevard. The workers have been busy, and I have been watching you unload carfuls of your personal belongings. The dumpster is a nice touch. Have they found what's in the walls yet? In time they will. I am pleased to know your names now, and the name of the young blood you have brought to me. You certainly say their names often.
He then starts to list each child's name. In the safety of like every article, they don't list the children because they were underage. So then he asks, what's even terrifying, so he knows all the names of the children. He's listing this in this letter, right? But what's even more terrifying is that he mentions one of them specifically by name. And then he asks,
Is she the artist in the family?
Oh, fuck. Nope. That's not me.
yeah. And the reason being is because one of their kids would paint on an easel outside of their home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's even more terrifying. He's really watching
Shit.
this person, right?
Oh, fuck.
So the letter continues.
657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been years and years since a young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream. Will they sleep in the attic? Or will you all sleep on the second floor? Who has the bedrooms facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who's in which bedroom. Then I can plan better. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move throughout the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher, and I have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on and kindly sold it when I asked them to. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession. And now you too are Braddis family. Welcome to the product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to 657 Boulevard, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving in day. You know I'll be watching.
Oh, God. Oh, fuck. It almost sounds like the movie The Boy, you know what I mean? Kind of has that plot where he's like in the walls.
Yeah,
And
where he's like in the walls,
watching.
always watching, yeah. But in letter form. No, it's
Yeah.
it's bazongas.
scary.
Especially, yeah, no, it's so unsettling. Especially you're a young family.
Right.
It's just you're just trying to start your life with your family, move into this home, and it's just nuts. It's just wild.
It almost makes me think too, like all the other bidders. Who's to say like it's not one of them trying to scare them out of the house so that they can buy the house?
that could be it too. What part of this letter I find fucking terrifying is when he says, will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never hear them scream.
Oh, God.
Which I'm like, Jesus, what the
That
like?
is
What? That is such an
scary.
open threat.
Yeah.
And then same thing with like, oh, like where's everybody gonna sleep? As soon as you guys move in, I'm gonna know where everybody's gonna be.
I can plan better.
I can
Fuck
plan
that.
better. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck that. No, this like it's. I would start crying.
Moving out. We're moving out.
Literally. So Derek and Maria would then stop bringing their kids to the new home for any kind of renovation work. Because by this time, remember, they're still doing renovation work. They haven't moved in. They're still at their old place. And now they're really staying at their old place because now they don't really want to move in because this fucking creepo
Psychopath. Yeah.
is sending them these creepy letters. So the couple was even debating if they should even move in. Like before, silence. Not another letter for weeks and weeks and weeks. And nothing came from the Watcher, right?
Interesting.
So, but during that entire time, they're waiting for this letter, a possible one, to arrive. It's just like anxiety-inducing patience,
Yeah.
I guess. And just like that, another letter arrived.
Oh my God! Leave us alone.
Yeah. Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, you know how you said right before this, that's probably those bidders, right? People who lost it on the bid.
Right.
Well, that is a very common theory. Everybody from all over the city was bidding on this. They really wanted this home. So the Broadduses suspected that the Watcher might be one of those bidders on the home that bid on the home and lost it due to the Broadduses, outbidding them and moving in. And in pity or jealousy, these people were trying to scare them into like selling the place again and leaving, which makes sense. I mean, that's great logical sense. So, but after talking with the Woods, the previous owners of the home, they said that all the people that backed out of the bid had solid reasons to why. Some, like a couple of them had like really bad medical issues or massive medical bills, so that's why they had to back out of the bid. Another one said that they had like already found another home outside the city. Some people just said like, oh, actually looking into it, it's maybe just not for me. It's the wrong time to buy. So everybody had like a really solid alibi as to why they
didn't buy it.
Didn't buy it, yeah. Or they just didn't keep bidding against the Broadduses. That's why they won. So, but Woods, the previous owner, suggested another theory.
Okay.
And this is what she says. With the mention of the contractor trucks, your children suggest that it was someone in the neighborhood? Because in the letter, it talks about the contractors and talks about watching you through the window. So maybe she's saying, well, yeah, it could be one of these bidders, or it could be literally the neighbor across the street from you where there's a house directly facing yours.
Yeah.
So
binoculars.
Like, yeah, literally. So with some of the puzzle pieces like slowly trying to be put together, they had realized that whoever was sending these letters was within the community, which I think all of us, has to be. The letters were processed in Kearney, New Jersey Postal Service, which was very close by. The first letter was postmarked June 4th, which was before the sale was public. And also before the Woods had ever put up a for sale sign, and only a day after the contractors arrived. So this person somehow knew that they were moving into the place before anybody else did, or even before they put a for sale sign up, or before any person knew that this place was going to be put up for sale.
Yeah. Okay.
So this person had technically been watching them before they even moved in.
Ooh, God. That is so fucking scary.
No, it's terrifying. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck? I'd be like second guessing everybody.
Yeah. They're like, no one's coming over. No
Literally.
one.
So when Derek and Maria walked Detective Luger around the house, they showed him that the easel was on the porch, remember, because their daughter.
Yeah.
Porch was hidden from the street by vegetation, making it very difficult to see unless someone was behind the house or right next door. So the only way someone would be able to see their daughter like painting is if, again, they were behind the house or right next door. So they couldn't be someone from across the street.
So they're trying to narrow it down, but it's...
Which is smart. I mean, shit, I'd be doing the same shit too. So the Broadduses hadn't told anybody, like no one, about the Watcher, right? As the police instructed, which is smart because, again, everybody's a prime suspect. They found themselves scanning the neighborhood parties for clues while keeping tabs on their kids, constantly yelling at them to stay close. So when they would go to barbecues, I mean, they would so slyly try to find out if their fucking neighbor Bob was the Watcher, but also keeping a close eye on their kid because they could be walking into like the Watcher's house, and then it's just flying a trap. It's nuts. So Derek was talking with a neighbor, John Schmidt, right, who lived just 2 doors down from them. Schmidt told Derek about the Langfords.
Okay.
The Langfords lived between Derek and John. And the woman that lived there was Peggy Langford and had several adult children, all in their 60s, who lived with her. John goes on to say that the family was a bit odd, but harmless. And again, if they're between their houses, that's his right next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, remember, like before, they were saying whoever could see this easel would either have to be behind us or right next door to us. So Derek is like, it's a motherfucking Langfords.
Yep.
Because they weird. And they have older people living there. So Derek thought that he had solved the case, right? It's like, it's fucking Langfords. The Langfords are right next door to his home. It was facing the easel on the porch. The family had lived there since the 1960s. And if you remember in the letter from the beginning that the watcher's father had begun observing 657 Boulevard home from way back when.
Yeah.
The family patriarch had died 12 years earlier, and the current watcher claimed to have been watching the home now for at least 2 decades. So it just made sense mathematically with when they moved in and the letter and like things piecing
How long
together.
they've been
like
watching, yeah.
how long they've been watching. Yeah, it just makes sense because they're the longest family that's been living there. The family had been there a long time, so it just made sense. So the Broderses told the police about the family. Stoked, they were helping the police and the investigators with like a very strong lead. Looks like they already beat them to it.
Oh.
Yeah. After the first letter had arrived, they brought in Michael Langdon to the police headquarters for an interview about the letters, but Michael denied knowing anything about the letters and any involvement.
Fishy.
Yeah. So the police at this point couldn't help the family any longer. They were just like open threats, and there was no tangible evidence. They even made the joke to the family, this isn't CSI Westfield. When the wife is dead, it's the husband.
Really?
Yeah, like total fucking dicks.
Ah. What the hell?
Yeah. So Derek was pissed, as anybody would be, as I think all of our campers, and we are.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Because I'd be like, what the fuck? You're supposed to be fucking killing me. So this is what Derek says. This is someone who threatened my kids, and the police are saying, probably nothing's going to happen. Probably isn't good enough for me. This person attacked my family, and where I'm from, if you do that, you get your ass beat.
Yeah. Get the gun, honey.
Yeah, no, literally. I mean,
The musket.
yeah, these are my kids, and no, you don't fuck with family.
Yeah.
And campers, if you don't know about Jacob and I, you don't fuck with family.
Get fucked up, son.
You get fucked up,
Pew,
bitch.
pew, pew, pew.
throws a hot fire log from the fire at him. So frustrated and pissed, Derek went like full Papa Bear mode, and then he began his own investigation. He goes, "Fuck! If the police aren't gonna help me investigate,
I'm gonna do my own shit."
Exactly, I'm gonna do it myself.
Hell yeah.
So he set up webcams in 657 Boulevard and spent nights crouched in the dark, watching to see if anyone was watching the house at close range. He began covering his counter space and tables with documents relating to the case and copies of the letters. I mean, like he would go to cafes, Jake, with his family, and I mean, just sprawled out.
Damn.
Just trying to piece it all together and trying to make sense of everything and nitpick everything. It's wild, but that's what he had to do. You know, he's trying to figure out who the hell's fucking with him.
Yeah.
So he had only shared any information he had with his family and his very, very, very close friends. He even had a map displayed with when each of the neighbors had moved in and how long they had lived there.
Damn, he's going deep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, he had line markings of how far away someone could hear the house or from the easel, like an earshot range. So he would tell his kids or his wife to yell her kids' names from various points of the property, and he would stand by the easel or by the main house to see how far he could hear it. And then he would measure out the earshot of that to know where the watcher would be standing so that he could, or this person could hear them talking about their kids or saying their names.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I
mean,
he went all into it. I mean, shit. The only thing that was on Derek's mind was the Langfords. They were the only ones that had been there since the 60s, right? Everybody else kind of came and went.
Yeah.
The longest ones that had been staying there. Derek even went to the extent of reaching out to a former FBI agent who served as inspiration for Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs for help.
Oh, wow.
He reached out to her. Yeah.
Clarice.
He reached out exactly. The person who served inspiration for that character, right?
Yeah.
So the family even employed a private investigator, investigators, plural, who stalked out the neighborhood and ran background checks on neighbors, but especially the Langfords, which in return came up with nothing.
Damn. That's defeating.
Yeah. So, after weeks, almost months of silence, another letter.
Gah.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Mr. and Mrs. Bredis, warm and humid, sunny, and cool for a summer day. Are you the one of those Hoboken transplants who are ruining Westfield? The house is crying from all of the pain it's going through. You have changed it and made it so fancy. You are stealing its history. It cries for the past and what used to be in the time when it roamed its halls. The 1960s were a time for the 657 Boulevard when I ran from room to room, imagining the life with the rich occupants there. The house was full of life and young blood. Then it got old, and so did my father. But he kept watching it until the day he died. And now I watch, and I wait for the day when the young blood will be mine again.
Yeah, it's definitely the friggin' neighbors. Come on now. Come on!
It's the fucking neighbors.
It's the fucking neighbors. They just literally threw themselves under the bus.
Yeah, but then we also get like some history here too with like how he used to go to this house and run around.
Was it like like a brothel or something?
A brothel? No. But I think like he would, I don't know, break in. Maybe the family used to own the home at one point, or maybe I don't fucking know. They would kill the people in there. I don't know. It's very mysterious, especially with this whole like young blood stuff. The house was full of life and young blood. But he kept waiting until the day he died. Now I watch and wait for the day when the young blood will be mine again. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
You gonna bathe in their blood and become young again?
I mean, I fucking hope not. I don't want them fucking killing my kids.
No.
No, exactly. So focus remained on the Langfords, right? I think you're in the same way too. Like, it has to be them. In cooperation with the Westfield police, the Broaddus's sent a letter to the Langfords announcing plans to tear down the house, hoping to prompt a response, right?
Yeah.
But nothing happened. No letters were received of any kind of reaction from them. They're hoping that maybe that they would get a rise out of this family. Like, oh, we're going to fucking tear down this house.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to do anything about it? You want to send me a letter? No. And it just, they didn't bite, right?
Right.
If what they're thinking is true, that it's them, they didn't bite.
Damn it.
So Detective Lugo brought Michael Langford in for a second interview, but got nowhere. And his sister Abby as well. But they both, the Langfords, Michael and Abby, accuse the police of harassing their family. Which, I mean, I get it at this point. They kind of are, because they're being constantly barraged with, are you the watcher? I'm bringing you in for questioning because we think that you're this person sending these fucking letters to this family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it's not us, so can you fuck off because you're harassing us at this point?
Yeah.
So eventually the Broadduses hired Lee Levitt, a lawyer, who met with several members of the Langford family, as well as their attorney, to show them the letters, along with the photos explaining of how their home was one of the few vantage points from which the easel could be seen. The meeting grew very tense. Levitt said that the Langfords insisted Michael was innocent, right?
Right.
Because you're accusing this family of doing this really demented shit.
Right.
Psychological warfare kind of crap. And they're just insisting, like, Michael's not doing, it's not him. Like, it's just not. So the private investigator that the family had hired did end up finding, remember, because they hired those those investigators to, like, find shit.
Yeah.
They didn't end up finding, like, 2 child sex offenders within, like, a few blocks of them, but nothing directly suggested it was them.
Okay.
They just found that there was these people in the area. So by the end of 2014, the investigation had stalled. The Watcher had left no digital trail, no fingerprints, and no way to place someone at the scene of the crime that could have been hatched from pretty much any mailbox in northern New Jersey. Because remember, it's being mailed. No one's coming up there and putting it in the box.
Right. I was going to say, like, you
so
need,
there's
like,
no
cameras
way
or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way of knowing who is sending this. There's no return address. There's nothing. So, just like before, weeks would go by, but now it had turned into months. The family had installed a new alarm system, and just like that, the family had moved into the home.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
They finally
let's get
moved
the ball
in.
rolling now.
Yeah. So, as terrifying as it was and anxiety like through the roof, this was like their home. This is my home. My space. I bought it. You can fuck off. If we gotta close all the windows all the goddamn time, so be it. And I gotta put cameras in every window and ultra best alarm security, I'm gonna do it.
It's going.
Yeah, so Derek was so willing to do anything to protect his family. I mean, like, anything that he even put out an ad for military vets to come work out in their backyard every day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, as
Nice.
like bodyguards. Like,
Yeah.
they're just gonna be there. So the kids finally moved into the home with Derek and Maria, and within a few days, well, the Watchers started to take notice again and wrote to them.
Oh my God.
And now the family was petrified once again. And this was just within days of the kids moving in,
Wow.
just settling in, right? And this is what it says.
657 Boulevard is turning on me. It's coming after me. I don't understand why. What spell did you cast on it? It used to be my friend, and now it's my enemy. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. It is not in charge of me. I will fend off its bad things and wait for it to become good again. It will not punish me. I will rise again. I will be patient and wait for this to pass and for you to bring the young blood back to me. 657 Boulevard needs young blood. It needs you. Come back. Let the young blood play again like I once did. Let the young blood sleep in 657 Boulevard. Stop changing it and let it alone.
What the fuck? What does it mean?
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do?
Ugh.
Like, sorry, kids, pack your bags. We're
Yeah.
getting the fuck out again.
Jeez.
Yeah, so the Broadduses had already sold their home, their older home, right? That they were
Yeah.
previously staying in. So they had to move in with Maria's parents while continuing to pay the mortgage and property taxes on 657 Boulevard. This led the family into like so many restless nights. They suffered from insomnia, depression, plus anxiety 24/7. Because who's to say that he's not watching them at this new place?
Yeah.
At their parents' place, right? So they ended up getting a therapist, and the therapist said that in order for this like traumatic stress to go away, that they would have to sell the house and be rid of it
What?
because
Yeah.
it was causing them so much. Jake, I mean like insane insomnia. We are Camp Insomnia, but
Yeah.
in a funny way.
You can't hang.
Yeah, but no, like it was causing them so much grief. They really couldn't handle it. So the therapist said, well, the best way to stop this is if you just sell it. That's the best advice I can give to you, because you don't know who this person is. You don't know if they're going to do anything to your family. It's all open threats. You don't know if they're just going to go away one day or if the letters are going to stop. Like, you just don't know. Right?
Right.
So the family did try to sue the Woods. Remember, the people that sold them the house.
Yeah.
For not telling them about the letter that was given to them. And that fell through.
Of course.
It just fell through in court. And so the family was stuck with this house, and they know what they needed to do. They needed to sell it. So in the spring of 2016, they put 657 back on the market, hoping it might garner some interest given how many people were had reacted to the letters and saying that because by then the whole news of the letters kind of got out.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Broadduses held an open house, after which Derek and Maria spent hours researching every single person who signed in and comparing their handwriting to the Watchers. But each time a potential buyer expressed interest and met with the Broadduses' lawyer to read the letters, they backed out.
Ugh. Damn it.
And that's how people knew about these letters. It was
Yeah.
because they had to do that. So, and because they had these letters, well, I'm not going to buy this house, and all of a sudden this fucking creepo is going to be messaging me now.
Yeah.
So why am I going to buy this house? So feeling that they were out of options, the Broadduses' real estate lawyer proposed an idea. Sell the house to a developer who could tear it down and split the property into 2 sellable homes. They thought they could get at least $1 million for the lot. Subdivisions like this were very common in Westfield, and it would do very well, right? So the proposal was publicly announced, right?
Yeah.
Westfield's Facebook groups lit up because people are now knowing of the stupid fucking letters. And some expressed sympathy for the Broaddus family. They're like, man, that's terrifying. This sucks. I'm so sorry for them.
Yeah.
And other people were like, this shit is a fucking fake. This is some hoax shit. They're fucking stupid. Wow, they're just trying to get more money out of this. They're stupid, right? Talking shit. But a lot of these people just they weren't understanding that the Broadduses were just following orders from the police to protect their kids by not telling anybody about this from the get-go, by keeping it to themselves, by why they're trying to sell it because of this, and if anybody's willing to try to live in it. But some people just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And that sucks. So they held a board meeting with the town to discuss of this subdivision, right? That would go on the slot that the Broadduses owned. Uh-huh. Some neighbors even brought their own lawyers to fight the proposal, which only made it worse for the Broadduses to sell their home and tear it down.
Jeez, people are just shitty.
Because some people were like, well, it's going to look really tacky on this street, these two subdivided homes or whatever. So they brought lawyers to like, no, the house needs to stay. You're not going to tear it down.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. But then also it made those neighbors look like super prime suspects as the watcher.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and with this, the news of the watcher and the Broadduses family spread like wildfire. Because now everybody's talking about this story now. Mm-hmm. So this didn't help with them trying to sell the home or / property. No one wanted to buy it. And like I said, some neighbors sympathized and others thought this was a huge hoax. It also didn't help that their meeting to demolish the home and build apartments was ultimately denied. So now they're still stuck with this 657 Boulevard home.
Right.
No matter how hard they tried to tear it down. So luckily, not too long after this decision, a family with grown children and 2 large dogs asked to rent 657 Boulevard.
Ayo.
When asked if they were worried about the watcher, they said, we're not worried about it. But in the lease, if the family ended up getting a letter, they would have every right to leave right then and there.
Damn, okay.
Which is fair. Yeah. Which is fair. I mean, like, if I'm going to be renting a place where this man supposedly is going to watch me and, like, murder me for young blood, I better be able to get the fuck out instantly.
I'd be outie.
Yeah, I'd be like, psych. Just kidding. I don't want to rent here anymore. So 2 weeks later, Derek went to 657 to deal with squirrels that had taken up residence in the roof.
Of course.
The renter handed him an envelope that had just arrived. You ready?
Go away.
Violent winds and bitter cold. To the vile and spiteful Derek and his wench of a wife Maria. You wonder who the watcher is. Turn around, idiots. Maybe you've even spoken to me. One of those so-called neighbors has no idea who the watcher could be. Or maybe you do know and you're too scared to tell anyone. Good move. I walked by the news trucks when they took over my neighborhood and mocked me. I watched as you watched from the dark house in an attempt to find me. Telescopes and binoculars are wonderful inventions. 657 Boulevard survived your attempted assault and stood strong with its army of supporters barricading its gates. My soldiers of the boulevard followed my orders to a T. They carried out their mission and saved the soul of 657 Boulevard with my orders. All hail the Watcher.
What the fuck?
So it's not just one person.
It's multiple people.
It's probably the whole motherfucking neighborhood.
Oh my god.
So the renter mentioned, he's like, he was spooked.
Yeah, I would be too.
But he agreed to stay if the Broadduses installed cameras around the house. Right? He's like, you know what? I'm spooked, but just put some security in.
We good.
We good. The rent must be nice.
Oh yeah.
So, and it's a beautiful home too. So then it continues.
Maybe a car accident. Maybe a fire. Maybe something as simple as a mild illness that never seems to go away but makes you feel sick day after day after day after day after day after day after day. Maybe the mysterious death of a pet. Loved ones suddenly die. Planes and cars and bicycles crash and bones break.
What the fuck?
So he's threatening them.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get in a car accident. Maybe that was because of me. Maybe because it's a fire. Maybe I'll kill one of your fucking pets. You don't fucking know.
God damn.
And you'll never know because you don't know who the fuck I am. And I have other people. Maybe there's other neighbors that are all doing this.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So Maria, the wife, goes, "It was like we were back at the beginning, but it also meant fresh evidence that might help invigorate the investigation." So Derek took the letter to the police headquarters, where the detective looked at the neighborhood map and traced a circle around the house 300 yards in diameter, suggesting that the watcher must be somewhere in there, right? So the Broaddus's continued to press the case, but there still wasn't much for law enforcement to go on, and it was possible to look up and down the street to see the watcher as practically anybody. Like, they could be anyone.
Everyone's
family.
going to jail.
I don't know what to tell you. We really can't fucking help you. So residents did mention there was a teenager whose father had grown up around the corner, and a man who sometimes walked around the neighborhood playing a flute. An elderly couple behind the house had been there 47 years. The husband was the man Bill Woodward, and he had been sitting in a lawn chair looking at the Broaddus' house. One of their kids had married a man who grew up in, of all places, 657 Boulevard. But these were bits of information that could only mean everything or nothing depending on how hard you look at them.
Yeah.
The Broadduses sent new names to the investigators whenever they found something odd, but their greatest fear was that the watcher could be someone they'd never suspect. And the fourth and final letter would arrive.
What did you say?
You were despised by the house, and the watcher won.
What? What does that even mean?
And that's the end.
What? They never finished? What?
Nope. They never figured out who the watcher was.
Wow.
Or what neighbors helped. Maybe those people that got lawyers and tried to stop them from demolishing the home. Or maybe that was just a ploy to make them feel like there were more people when there really weren't. It was just one.
What? That's whack. I want to know who the freaking watcher is.
Exactly. But isn't it a freaking terrifying
That's
story?
a
Because it just
trip.
happened to this random family who just moved into their first home.
Are they still there or did they move?
No, they still rent out that property, but they do not live in that house.
Interesting. Okay. And where do those people get letters still?
They said that right after this, because it got so widespread, right? I mean, everybody's finding out about the Watcher right at this point on like Fox and all the news stations, CSNBC or something like that.
Yeah.
That people started doing fake letters and sending them directly to where the new family was living.
Right.
So that sucked, and like they knew it wasn't actually the Watcher. It was just like people just fucking around. But the husband did say that he made his own version of the letters, and he scared all the neighbors that were around him because he made it seem like the Watcher was now watching them, and that was him getting revenge at the possibility that maybe one of them were the ones doing it. So, and he copped to it because when that first released, they were like, "Oh shit, the Watcher's now attacking the neighbors that are around that house." People were like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" But in the article that I read, in the interview asking Derek, he's like, "No, I wrote it because I was fucking salty and pity that they weren't doing fucking shit."
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah. So, it didn't help them afterwards. Poor kids were getting bullied at school, even bullied at work. They're constantly told that these people fucking made it up, that it was all a hoax.
Wow.
Yeah, and also side note, as the letters progressed, the more grammatical errors there were. Mm-hmm. And the very beginning, it was very like fluent and very like educated, I guess.
Right.
And then as it went on, the more aggressive and distraught the Watcher got, there's a lot more typos. Yeah. Crazy though. Yeah, it's a unsolved case, unsolved mystery, and we haven't done one of those really on. I guess we kind of have,
right?
But on the pod. So it's a story that like freaks me out because this person is still out there.
I'm thinking it's the old lady. She's the Watcher.
I mean, all I know is that it probably has to be a neighbor.
Yeah.
Maybe it is the Langfords because they've been there that long, or maybe it's that neighbor that was living there for 47 years and their son hadn't lived in the house at that one part in time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. Or it could be the mailman. It could be someone who walks their dog daily. It could be a gardener at someone else's house. I mean, I don't fucking know. So that's what I mean. It could literally be anybody.
That's so scary.
And that's what makes it so scary. is that they got no fucking leads.
Oh my god. I feel for this family, dude. I don't even know what I'd even do.
No, like I said, I'd probably do what they did, is move out.
What's up with this young blood shit, too?
Yeah, I know. He probably wants to kill the kids or something. I don't know. He'll
Weird.
fucking not. Well, I hope you campers liked this story
That is
about
scary
the
shit.
Watcher. It is some scary shit. So next time you purchase your first home, good luck, and let's hope you don't get a letter from the Watcher.
Your friendly
And if
neighborhood
you do,
watcher.
yeah, literally. And if you do, please send it to us at Camp Insomnia. we can try to get you some help. But yeah, I asked you to prepare some jokes. Did you
Right.
get those jokes?
I can try to think of one.
No, that's fine. I'll let you think. And
Okay.
we're gonna go into a little short a music break. What kind of music do you want to play?
Let's play some Japanese anime music. Let's do that.
Hey, anime music. Hey. And we're back, campers.
Hello, campers.
I'm excited to hear this.
Okay. So, a mother was teaching her daughter how to shave her legs. The daughter, not knowing how to use the razor, ends up cutting herself.
Oh.
And I guess she didn't razor right.
Oh, stupid!
Oh, boom, baby, I'm back.
That was so dumb. Oh my god.
Yeah, baby.
That was good. That was so dumb it was good.
I love it. I'm the
I
king of the
love it.
puns, baby. No one can take
King
my
of the
spot.
puns. That was pretty good. Well, thank you, Jacob,
Yeah, it's a
for coming out of the
privilege.
forest.
Don't send me back,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, fortunately, get your fucking ass back in the forest. No, you can kick around a camp for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you, campers, for listening. You can follow us on Instagram at
Camp Insomnia podcast
close Camp Insomnia _
podcast. Damn, I'm so close.
And you can find what in our description?
Our link in bio, and our Instagram, our Twitter, our Spotify, our everything, our YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that you can listen to us on all of our streaming platforms. But yeah, thank you, campers, for listening, and good luck trying to sleep tonight.
Nighty night, campers.
Good night. I am watching you. I want your young blood.
Watcher. Good job.